In order to try and find out what people think of this channel, and to work out what things I'm doing right and which are maybe a waste of time, I use the YouTube community tab to ask questions from time to time. If you haven't participated in these questions, it's never too late, as they remain in place and you can answer them at any time. Just go over to the community tab, click on it and scroll down to find the questions. There's also an opportunity for you to comment on each question if you'd like to. I don't usually get a large number of people responding, and the more who do respond, the more accurate I think probably the answers would be. Even so, I think I can draw a few conclusions from the answers I've received already, and a few have been quite surprising actually. Hopefully I've managed to learn a few things along the way as well. And this is what this video is all about. One of the first questions I asked was, what sort of videos would you like to see me making? The response to this was pretty much overwhelming, and it was in favour of campsites. While this isn't always possible to increase the number of campsite videos, I have tried to make as many as I can when we head out on trips, but it tends to be highly dependent on where we go and how many campsites we locate along the way. I do also have to keep the other videos coming because this channel is really linked to our main website, and we cover all sorts of different places, towns and places to visit, and man-made attractions are another thing I also have to make videos on, even though nobody voted in favour of that for this particular question. The next question asked about video premieres, and I think all of you have experienced that on YouTube by now. You get a little thumbnail coming up and you think there's a new video to watch, you click on it only to find it's just an advert for the video that's coming up in either a day or a week or whatever. I've got to say that I find those particularly annoying, and I was a bit relieved to find that most people agreed with me. 75% of you who did respond didn't like the idea of video premieres. If I'm on a channel I like and I see a thumbnail come up that I haven't seen before, I'm really ready to watch the video. I don't want to be told that it's coming up in a few hours or a few days. That's really irritating. Now, I am guilty of making some trailers for various series, and I don't quite put those in the same category because the trailers are made separately. They're clearly labelled as a trailer to avoid any disappointment, and they're there sort of just to give you an idea of what is coming up. And they are made as a very separate video. That's not something I really sort of cobbled together in 5 seconds. They take a bit of effort to make. The next thing I asked was how you listen to the videos I make, whether you're listening on speakers or whether you're listening on headphones. That makes a bit of a difference to how I produce videos. I have to keep in mind that there are people listening in both ways, and that affects sometimes the kind of microphones I might choose to use. This little microphone you can see me using, the Rode Wireless Go, has been a real game changer, and I've already spoken about that in another video. Then I wanted to find out whether you wanted the channel to stay the same or whether you wanted to see it move in a different direction or include different content. The answer to that actually surprised me, with the majority of people, quite a big majority, wanting the channel to focus more on WA towns and the sort of core content of the channel. And I hope I've managed to do that to a great extent over the intervening time. Of course, there is going to be the odd video on gear when we get new stuff to play with. I do think those are quite helpful to people who may be thinking about buying something, and if they can see a video that gives them good information on what that product is like, they can make an informed decision on whether to buy it or not. We don't get sponsored by anybody, and so the videos I make on gear are going to be my honest opinion on whether they're good, bad or indifferent. And also those particular videos tend to be our most popular, and they tend to be evergreen, which means people just keep watching them. And to be honest, they also produce the most revenue. It's a little bit sad in a way that our core content can't match them in that respect, but I get that YouTube finds it easier to advertise on a video about a camera than they do on a video about a little town in the far northeast of the wheat belt. So it does make sense that they're going to receive better outpaying ads and that sort of thing. So in some circumstances I've actually made more from the video than it cost me to buy the product, so that's always particularly nice. That's pretty rare though, I've got to admit. The next question concerns the length of videos and really how long is too long. For me, I do like the longer content. I really don't like this move towards shorts and YouTube being absolutely polluted by hundreds of thousands of 60-second videos that give you absolutely no satisfaction. And it was interesting to find the result there that people like sort of a mid-range, somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes seem to be a good range for a video. Now I know I am going to make videos longer than that and shorter than that from time to time, but in general, especially for the bigger content stuff that I do try to keep it around those figures, not too much more than 20 minutes, not too much less than 10, unless there really isn't enough content to justify it, and then there's no point in padding it out. A lot of our videos have a content section in the description area, and that allows viewers to find different sections of the video just by clicking on a timestamp. I wanted to find out how many people actually made use of this, as it can be quite useful to find content that you're interested in a video and skip over the bits that you're not. The result here was about 50-50 really, so obviously enough people are using that to keep it in the videos, although half of you don't use it, and fair enough. If you don't need it, maybe you're not watching the whole video, maybe you're watching it all anyway. I do need to clarify my questions a bit. There's some stuff that I'm not putting enough thought into the questions, I think, and that was one of them. No real surprise on the next question that most people who answered were subscribers. After all, subscribers are the ones who are going to get the notifications that these questions are there in the first place. Almost half of our viewers watch most new content, while about 40% watch at least some. It's a bit hard to make a judgment because really non-subscribers are not going to answer this question unless they just stumble across it, I guess. The next question really blew my mind, as our website is really our major focus. That's what I put most of my effort into, and it was rather shocking to find that either most people don't know about it or they don't visit it at all. I think this is a question I'm going to have to ask again in the future to see if I've managed to change this, because most of what I do is all about the main website. This YouTube channel is just a side part to that, and it's meant to provide videos to give context to the web pages, and so that people, while they're in the web page, can click on the video and see more information and actually see the place they're reading about. But I'm guessing that video is playing such a huge part in society these days that people are doing a lot more watching than they are reading. Next, I wanted to find out if it's worth re-editing some of my really old footage, and by old I mean the old analog stuff that I shot back in the 90s and early 2000s, and whether people would be interested in seeing that based on the fact that it's really not going to be very good quality. But a bit of a surprise again there when most people actually said yes. So I have been working on that, and I have produced a few of those old videos now. There's one about Garner that I can remember, another one about Kalgoorlie and the underground operations there that's only just come out about a week or so ago. So I will keep working on that, as people have indicated that they'd be interested in watching it. Next, I wanted to find out whether making our adventure blog videos is really worthwhile. The adventure series follow us along as the trip progresses, and there's not a great deal of detail on each site. So I make two types of videos. I make the blog series where you follow us through the trip, and then later on I will make the detailed videos about each of the sites. and that's where you get all the real information about either a campsite or a town, where we go into the history of the place, or places to visit where we'll put a lot more detail and a lot more effort into providing information, where the blog series are just, you know, it's a fun run that follows us along on our trip. So anyway, enough people were interested in both, so they will keep producing both of those. That's why these question and answer sessions are pretty useful, because they let me know what you're thinking out there and whether you are going to be interested in the videos that I'm producing. I don't want to sit here making videos that no one's going to watch. That's sort of a waste of time. Okay, so we are in the midst of the longest series I've ever produced now, which is the Goldfields trip, which runs to 14 episodes. And so the next question was all about that, and with how people would like to watch a video series. And the majority of you responded that the way you wanted to watch it was just one after another until it was finished. So fair enough, that's how that series is being run. Although I did decide to each Wednesday come out with one of the detailed videos. So you've got the adventure series running on the Saturdays, and on each Wednesday you're going to get a detailed video. They're not synced up together. They're a little bit out of sync, but you will get the detailed videos along with the blog videos on the weekend. Then the next question was about the details section underneath each video, and how many people actually read what's under there, because I do try to put either links to other information that might be useful, or a bit of information that's not included in the video, as well as we also put a whole series of links to all the other pages that we run. So there's often a lot of related content, and if you do take the time to have a look in the descriptions, as I say, there's a content section in some videos as well that allows you to skip through the video to the bits you want. So the description section can be useful, and although, you know, about half of people who watch the videos don't use it, I would say maybe take the time to have a look at that section, because you could find some useful information and some useful bits and pieces there, like the content section. Now, I do run a lot of other pages. You know, we have Instagram account, although I don't put a lot of effort into that. We have a number of Facebook pages, and until recently I have put a lot of effort into that and trying to promote the website through the Facebook pages. So I wanted to find out whether that was worthwhile. Were people looking at Facebook and then coming over here and having a look at this channel? The answer to that one was a resounding no. People are finding this either through recommendations on YouTube or YouTube search. I was surprised to find that nobody's even used Google search to find what we've got on the channel. So I guess I'm not going to be putting anywhere near as much effort into the other platforms to try and promote this particular one, because nobody's using it, or at least nobody who's responded so far is getting here any other way than by being on YouTube. So that's something for me to learn. Next, there was a little question based sort of around revenue, because I wanted to know, if you subscribe to a channel, are you letting the ads run? Because obviously, if you subscribe to a channel, the thought is that you probably enjoy the content, and if you enjoy the content and you let the ads run, you're helping the creator without actually having to fork out any money yourself. So yeah, I really wanted to find out how many people were allowing ads to run. Of course, there's YouTube Premium. People who have Premium are not going to have ads anyway, so the question wasn't, again, it wasn't designed quite right. I should have had another option on there for the Premium users, but in any case, somebody did respond in that regard, and all about me designing better questionnaires, I guess. It was good to know, I guess, that at least most people do allow some ads to run. I know ads are a pain in the bum. I know people don't want to watch them. I don't enjoy them much myself. But for the channels I subscribe to and I enjoy, I do actually let the ads run. It's just my way of giving something to the channel that I enjoy. So I do hope that people do that for this channel if they enjoy it. We only put ads at the end and the beginning. If you let the ads at the beginning run, you'll never see ads at the end anyway. I know everybody turns off. But if you let the couple of ads at the beginning run, it puts a few cents in our pocket, and it really helps us, because if enough people do that, we get a few dollars to go out and buy new camera gear when we need it. It puts petrol in the petrol tank when we're on a trip. I'm never going to make a profit doing this. Okay, it's just a fact of life. I know that. But just covering some of the expenses really does help. And if you do let a couple of ads run at the beginning of each video, we just get a little bit in our pocket, and that all adds up when you talk about thousands of people watching the videos. So if you can do that, I'd really appreciate it. We've got about 800 odd videos up now, and obviously I've been doing this for quite a few years, and the thought crossed my mind one day, well, what about all those old videos that are sitting there? Are people ever going back? If you've just subscribed to the channel, you come on, do you go back and have a look through to see what other videos we've got available? And I was quite pleased with the response to this one, in that at least most people are going back and watching some of the older content. I did wonder whether it was worthwhile promoting some of the older stuff that I thought deserved more views, but I guess that's not necessary, because it seems like a lot of people are going back through the older stuff anyway, which is great. I was really quite pleased with that one. The last question for this batch is whether people use the video index page that we've developed on our main website. Now, the reason we've done that is that we've put all the videos in different sections. You've got all the campsites together, all the towns together, all the places to visit together, all the abandoned buildings, whatever, all the 4x4 gear. It's all in one section. Now, if you're trying to find that on YouTube, it's a huge pain in the bum. I know it. Just trying to find this on other people's pages is so difficult. Now, we try to put all the videos that I think are reasonably worth watching up on the website on this index page, and that's what the last question was about, to find out how many people were actually using that. And well, you can see from what's on the screen now what the answer was. A lot of people didn't know about it, and other people weren't using it. So that's one thing I do want to promote. If you're looking for videos we've made on a certain topic that may be a bit older, that's the place to go and look. Forget searching through YouTube. Go to our index page, go to these categories, click on the category, and then you'll be able to see all the videos we've made on that particular subject. So it will make your life a lot easier, and that's what it's for. And hopefully you will make some use out of that and find it useful. Well, that's our little look at the question and answer section of the community tab. If you haven't answered any questions and you'd like to go and answer some of the ones you've just seen, they're still open, they'll always be open, and the more people who answer them, the more valid the results are, I guess, for me. And if you do want to leave a comment under any of them, there's always the opportunity to do that. You can make comments under the questions. Let me know if I've screwed up something. Let me know if there's something you'd like, that's different to what the question's asking. Anything you can tell me about what you would like to see on the channel helps me give you what you want to see. My goal is to do two things. Firstly, I want to get information out there about WA, but importantly, I want people to enjoy the videos. If nobody enjoys them, then the information's not going to get out there. So my goal is to do both those things, get the information out, and to make something you like to watch. So, if you made it through this video, and this would have been a bit of a tough one to get through, I think, congratulations on that, and I hope to see you again on Wednesday, as we currently have Wednesday videos coming out, which are our details of the trip. And again on Saturday will be the next trip blog video. Thanks for watching, and cheers for now.